Ashok Leyland's new range of BS6 vehicles, made on a new modular business platform, are designed to deliver better performance, best-in-class driver comfort, and higher environmental safety. Truck and bus bodybuilding is an important activity that facilitates deployment of vehicles across various applications. To deliver a hassle-free vehicle to our customers after bodybuilding, it is critical to follow guidelines provided in Ashok Leyland's Bodybuilders Training Handbook. Parking. After receiving the chassis, it should be parked safely. Avoid parking of chassis near grass, water-clogged areas, or uneven surfaces. Chassis should be parked on a plain surface, preferably under a covered shed. After parking the chassis, stop the engine by turning off the ignition key. Apply parking brake and get down from the vehicle. Wait for 90 seconds and then turn off the isolator switch. Electrical isolator is provided in all passenger models and is located on the left-hand side of the instrument cluster. Similarly, mechanical type isolator is provided in all truck models and is located near the battery compartment area. Immediately switching off the isolator switch will lead to malfunctioning of the exhaust after-treatment system and may result in a heavy cost of repairs. Battery. Before starting the bodybuilding, the battery should be removed from the vehicle. To remove the battery, ensure ignition key and isolator switch are switched off. First, disconnect the battery negative cable. Then, disconnect the battery positive cable. Finally, remove the battery interconnector cable. Do not attempt to remove or disconnect the battery terminals while the engine is running or isolator switch is in the on position. It may cause damage to the electrical system and may lead to a thermal incident. Do not tilt the battery. Avoid storing the battery in direct sunlight. If the battery is idle for a long time, it starts discharging due to stratification and other current losses. Before installing the battery on the vehicle, check for proper open circuit voltage and specific gravity. Do not connect in the wrong polarity, as it may lead to a short circuit, which may lead to a thermal incident. To refit the battery, ensure ignition key and isolator switch are in off position and follow these steps for refitment. Apply petroleum jelly on the battery terminals. Engine ECU. To protect the engine ECU from malfunctioning and damages, the ECU connectors should be removed before starting the bodybuilding activities. It has two connectors, big and small. To remove the connector, slide the yellow lock. Open the lock by lifting the lock. Remove the connector and wrap it with masking tape. Repeat the same process for other connector. To refit the connector, place the connector on the ECU. Push the lock towards the ECU and lock the connector. Slide the yellow lock till the end to ensure the connector is firmly locked. Repeat the same process for the other connector. ABS ECU. To protect the ABS ECU from damages, the connector should be removed. It has two connectors, big and small. To remove the connector, press the notch, remove the connector and wrap it with masking tape. Repeat the same process for the other connector. To refit the connector, place the connector on the ABS ECU, press the notch and push the connector till the notch is firmly locked in its position. Repeat the same process for the other connector. BCU. To protect the BCU from damages during bodybuilding, BCU connectors A, B, C and D should be removed. To remove the connectors, first remove D connector. Press the notch and push the lock towards BCU. Remove the connector and wrap it with masking tape. Repeat the same steps for the remaining three C, B and A connectors. To refit the connector, start fitting procedures from connector A. Pull the lock away from the BCU and ensure the connector is firmly locked. Repeat the same steps for remaining three B, C and D connectors. ACU. To protect the EATs an ACU from damages, the connector should be removed and kept safely. It has only one connector. To remove the connector, pull the lever and slide the lock. Remove the connector and wrap it with masking tape. To refit the connector, place the connector on the ACU, push the lever and slide the lock. Ensure the connector is firmly locked. Grounding points. The ground is defined as the return path of an electrical circuit which is connected to the negative side of the battery. Improper or loose grounding will affect the current continuity and cause a spark in the electrical circuit, resulting in a risk of thermal incident. All BS6 vehicles have slotted holes with slotted bolts to ensure proper grounding. Masking should be done on areas where grounding terminals are fitted using the grounding eyelet. Add-on connectors. All BS6 vehicles are equipped with adequate numbers of add-on connectors to accommodate application-specific requirements of different external electrical loads. All add-on connectors are provided with meeting connectors and are protected by fuses. Unwanted tampering of wiring harness may result in malfunctioning of ECU and other aggregates, resulting in the huge cost of repairs. It also poses a risk of thermal incident. Thermal insulation. To prevent the transfer of engine heat inside the driver cabin, thermal insulation is provided in the engine bonnet, podest area, and below the driver's seat, each area. These thermal insulations should not be removed during bodybuilding. Do's and don'ts. Do not step or stand on eats or diesel exhaust fluid tank. Do not spray pressurized water on eats. Before welding, painting, or washing, cover eats, diesel exhaust fluid tank, fuel tank, air bellows, pneumatic hoses, and wiring harness with protective covers. Ensure diesel exhaust fluid tank cap is properly locked. Ensure ECU protection cover is closed during and after bodybuilding. Do not paint on electrical connector labels. Ensure proper masking. Do not relocate the fuel filter. Do not relocate CSO cable and clamps. To follow best practices to be adopted for bodybuilding on Ashok Leyland vehicles, please ask Ashok Leyland representative for a copy of BS6 Bodybuilders Training Handbook and wall charts.